Hi, I'm Dad Williams, and you are listening to the TigerTalk podcast.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the TigerTalk podcast, the official Gloucester City AFC club podcast. I'm Noah Woodland, joined by Morgan Turner-Green, my co-host. Morgan, how are you today?
I'm good. We haven't done one of these in a while.
Yeah, I've been missing for a few months. Morgan's steadied the ship and done the episode last week with the two women's players. But today we've got a very special guest, one that will be close to all Gloucester City fans' hearts. We've got Ben Richards-Everton on the podcast today. Ben, how are you today, and are you happy to come on?
I'm very well. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. So thank you for inviting me here.
Yeah, it's been obviously one we've wanted to get on all season, but especially now due to the recent news of you leaving the club due to personal reasons, and we'll get into that a little bit more later on. But hopefully in this podcast we can go through and explain your brilliant career that you've had in football, and some fans might not know little stories and stuff like that. So we'll get started. Can you just let us know about the early days in your footballing career when you were a little boy and the first teams you played for in men's football?
Yeah, God, what a story. I think I started playing football when I was about 10, 11. Obviously not competitive, just messing about at school, in the park and whatever. My dad was a massive influence into why I wanted to become a professional. And, he pushed me a lot. He used to take me up and down Birmingham, like trying to play for different teams and trials here, trials there. So, yeah, that's how it kind of started for me. And I had my heart set on becoming a professional since the early ages of 10. So, unfortunately, lost him at 15. So I kind of took a turn in a different direction. In terms of my football, I kind of lost interest for about 8 to 9 months when I was 15, 16. And I slowly got back into it. My mum was pushing me, and I didn't have anything else to do other than football. That's kind of all I knew and all I was good at, to be honest. Academically at school, I was terrible. I couldn't concentrate. I got chucked out of my lessons. Detention here, detention there. My mum was sick of me at that point. So, yeah, I kind of reverted back to type and got the football boots back out and had to go through the tough way and the non-league route. So, actually, I missed a vital part when I was 16. Obviously, I was at Birmingham City for a little bit, which is crazy because I'm a Villa fan. Like a massive Villa fan. The lads will know that at Gloucester, and wherever I've been, like everybody knows that I'm, such a massive fan of Villa. And my dad was a Villa fan as well, Claret and Blue. So for me to go, funny enough, my granddad was a Birmingham City fan. So there was a massive conflict between my dad and my granddad, obviously Birmingham and Villa. Obviously they ended up both passing, and I went actually on trial at Villa when I was 13. Didn't quite make it. So, yes, continued playing. Then Birmingham were interested, went to Birmingham, was in their academy for a little while. Didn't last too long, didn't get a professional contract there. So then ended up going to Carlisle. One of the women in the background behind Blues was heavily involved with Carlisle at the time. So she pushed me forward there. She could see that I had determination to make it and the ability. I just needed that little push and help. So she helped me get to Carlisle. I ended up signing my youth contract there, 2-year scholarship. I lasted about 8 months. So, I've never moved away from home before. I had a girlfriend at the time. And yeah, it just wasn't working. I wanted to be back close to my sisters. I wanted to help my mum, and yeah, obviously it was just 3 of us at that time, so it was a tough period in our lives. 4 of us. So yeah, I kind of just stepped away from football again. 7 months, 8 months, I was just doing all types of things which weren't good. Mum pushed me back into playing again, like I said, non-league route, and then I went and played for a team called Cradley Town. I don't even know if you've heard of those. So yes, playing for them. Was captain towards the end of my time there. Obviously, I had a lot of interest from different clubs, different non-league clubs. Tamworth were one of those, and they came in and basically just says, listen, we like the look of you. On paper, you look great. Obviously, I was very young at the time. So I kind of went in there, didn't sign at first. It was kind of like a trial. It was kind of weird. But yeah, I was there for a little bit. And the manager at the time was Dale Belford. And he said to me, yeah, I just want you to come along, experience what it's like to be on the first team coach, what match days are like. Obviously, at the time, they were full-time as well, which was great. So we trained in the mornings. And yeah, I impressed, and they signed me on a short-term contract till the end of the season. And then in the summer, they signed me for another season. And that's kind of where it kicked off for me. From there, I just went to play on for loads of different other teams, as you've probably got them all written down there. So that's kind of where it started, yeah.
Yeah, so you say you fell out of love with football a few times, and then Tamworth come in for you. Do you think that club was a bit of a platform for you to go, oh, look, I really want to take this seriously, and this is an opportunity for me, and I'm just going to take it?
100%, yeah. Like I said, I struggled when I lost my dad. So getting back into the sport that I initially loved and what he loved, I was immature in my mind, where I was just thinking, I hated the world. I didn't, I've never experienced anything like that. I saw my dad as my rock. And, I looked at him because he played football. And when he was gone, I just didn't know where to turn. So, I did struggle for a period of time. But obviously, when the opportunity arose with Tamworth, your name on the back of your top, it just felt professional. I've never played for a team like that. I've seen it on TV. But, to just see it in person, I was just like, yeah, this is a real opportunity now to kick on. I've been given this opportunity which most don't, so I need to seize this chance now. So I definitely saw it as an opportunity to kick on, and I did, to be fair. So the rest is history, I guess.
Do you think a big part of performing well at Tamworth was sort of doing it for your dad in a way, as you said, the names on the back of your shirt?
Yeah.
Do you think that was one of the big reasons why you probably did so well there, just doing it for your dad?
Yeah, funnily enough, like I said earlier, when I first initially went, it was more of an experience for me because I was so young. I can't remember how old I was, about 18, 19. So it was all that experience that I was basically just taking in. And then the second season, they remained in the Conference Premier at the time. That's what it was called, rather than the National League. The second season, I didn't even have any thought of playing. I just thought, it's going to be an experience for me again. Funnily enough, the centre half at the time, Jordan Rose, before the beginning of the season, he become injured. So I was just like, oh my God, this is my chance. So the manager pulled me aside and says, you're going to be starting the first game of the season. I was like, whoa, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. Like, yeah, I've never played at this level. Competitive, like I'm playing with men.
Yeah.
The guy that was playing next to me is Wayne Thomas. He's played in the Premier League for, I think, Stoke. I think it was Stoke. So yeah, I had Tony Capaldi playing left back.
Wow.
So I was just like, I have to play well. Like, this is my chance. I had Darren Byfield up front, Justin Richards up front, Lee Hendry in midfield.
Wow.
These are some big names in the game. And players that I used to watch on TV, and I'm in and amongst them. And I kind of got through. I was thrown in the deep end as a teenager with no experience. So I kind of took that chance, and I started the season really, really, really well. As I do, funnily enough, throughout my whole career, I always start seasons well. And unfortunately, consistency, I start to just plateau, and but yeah, I started the season great, and I took my opportunity, and there was a lot of talk around me at the time. And it was just music to my ears. I was just embracing it. I didn't let it affect my performances. I still continued to play. And during that season, I think midway through, January time, there was a lot of speculation of me moving to a Premier League club, or I think there's still write-ups on the internet now saying that I was linked to Premier League and Championship clubs, and it was just crazy. It was like a bit of a whirlwind. I didn't expect it at all, and I was just taking it in my stride, really. But yeah, no, I definitely it did help me, the fact that I did lose my pops, and I started to get that hunger in my stomach, and it really played a massive part into the career that I've had today. And I look now, and I think I should have done better in certain aspects. I should have played higher, albeit I still got to League One and I played in the Scottish Premiership, but I still think I should have played in the Prem. I still have that inside of me now, and some people will sit there and laugh, but you kind of know what you've got ability-wise, and I knew that I had all the attributes. I think consistency let me down. The top players at the top level, they're consistent week in, week out, 7 out of 10. And that's just something I couldn't be. I couldn't be consistent enough to be at the top level. Maybe made too many mistakes at certain times. As well as a centre back, I was a young centre back learning my trade, and it's difficult. It is difficult, but I'm still proud of the career that I've had.
Do you think that obviously you said you were a young lad at the back with around all these ex-pros, ex-Premier League players? Was there ever a particular game or striker that you played against where you thought that was a tough shift, or he gave me a bit of a hard time?
John Akinde.
Really?
Oh my God. John Akinde, yeah. He was my first wake-up call to men's football, let me tell you. I think a ball came over the top. I'm not sure who he was playing for at the time. Was it Aldershot? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, the ball came over the top, and this guy is built like... He was bigger than me, how I am now, my build. Like, I go to the gym every single day and lift weights, but he was eating weights for dinner. Like, I don't know, this guy was just a machine, and he's just brushed me aside, put his arm across me, and I couldn't get past his arm. And that's what, from that day on, obviously he went through and scored, slotted it. That was a wake-up call to me. I was like, okay, I need to get in the gym. I need to hit the gym now. So, yeah, I started eating a lot more because I was quite slim. Funnily enough, I was quite slim and athletic. One of my attributes was speed. I was quick, and I thought I was strong until I came against him. But yeah, that was one striker that gave me every time I would hate playing against him. Absolutely hate it. But that was more my early stages. Obviously, I played against Accrington. Everyone knows about him.
Yeah.
Globally now, he's massive. The Beast, they call him, I think. So he was just another level of strength. But I could hold my own a little bit by then. I was at Accrington. I've had a lot of games on my belt. I was going to gym more, and I was eating better. So I was more of a man than I was back then. So
yeah, and then I think whilst you're at Tamworth, you get a call up to England City.
Yeah.
We spoke to Ed Williams about this, and he said that it's still the same. You get a phone call or a text from a manager, and you're just sort of chucked into a room with someone you don't know. And yeah, what was that experience like for you?
Funny enough, like I said, I started really well at Tamworth, and up until January, there was a lot of speculation of me moving on, and it was around that time I think I got the call up, if not just a little bit before. And everything was going great for me on the pitch, off the pitch. And the manager just pulled me literally, I think the day after he had the phone call, because they contact the clubs first. I'm not sure how it works now, but I think that's how it was back then. And I had no clue. And I came to training, I think on the Friday, we had a game on the Saturday. And he's just gone, Ben, come over here, I've got something to tell you. So I was like, okay, cool, what's this? He's dropped me already.
Yeah.
How can you drop me? I'm doing unbelievable. And yeah, I feared the worst. Like, you know how it is when, a manager wants to speak to you, you're like, oh God, what's this about? So anyway, kind of took me aside, and he says, you got an England call up? And I'm like, what? I'm playing like non-league. And it was like, no, England C. And I was like, okay, cool. So it all made sense. And then I was just like, he's like, I just want to let you know, I'm proud, you've done really well to get to this point. But he says, you just got to continue doing what you're doing. Don't let this get to your head, kind of thing. But I wanted to tell you before I announce it in the group. Obviously, you announce it in the group, the lads give me a little ripple and whatnot. So so that was the first time I heard about it, and it is a proud moment. Like, whatever level you represent your country, England C, England B, or the first team, the under 16s, whatever it is, it's still an achievement. You get a cap, You know, it's just like they're replicating the first team. You know, we went to Latvia, which was an amazing experience. You know, they give you all the England tracksuit. You get your own match top that you get to take away. They give you a cap, like I said. It's just got a real international feeling about it. Like I'm actually representing my country now.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit, like I said, England C. It's a great experience and one that I'll never forget for sure.
Have you still got the cap?
I have somewhere, yeah. It might have a little bit of dust on now, but probably locked away. Funny enough, I had my mum started, obviously when I got the call up, and then I signed professional for Accrington in England. Because obviously I signed professionally first in Scotland. My mum kind of made this trophy cabinet and started putting all my stuff in there, boots that I worn each season, England caps, shirts. It was actually quite a cool feature because the house at the time, she was doing a house up, you'd walk in and then there'd be a staircase and it would kind of go up two ways, but in the middle she'd put all the glass cabinets with all my stuff in. So it was quite cool to walk into because obviously I didn't live at home at the time, so I'd walk in and I'd just be like, oh wow. She didn't tell me at the time, she just did it, and then when I first seen it I was a bit taken back, but yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, so you said about moving to Carlisle and you didn't really like it, and then after Tamworth you said that Premier League clubs were sniffing Championship clubs and you decided to move up to Scotland. What was that decision like, and was it a hard one to make?
Well, at the time my agent, basically we had a few discussions whether a club were wanting to move in January or whether it was just hearsay kind of stuff and it's just more interest, or whether it would be something towards the end of the season. So there was a rule called, I think, the Bosman rule, I don't know something like that. It basically, if you're under a certain age, a club can demand compensation for you.
Right.
And that was the case because I was under 23 and I started out with Tamworth. I was there for, I think, my second season it was classed as. And because of my age, clubs would have to pay a fee. Now, I think one club in particular that was really interested was Portsmouth. And I think they were in the Championship at the time. Or League One, I can't remember. Could have been League One, I don't know. But they weren't willing to pay a fee. They was asking for 50k. Which obviously got my back up immediately because I'm just I've why are you stopping me from moving on? I've done well here. Let me go and fulfill my potential. Do you know what I mean? So that club in particular didn't want to pay a fee. So this was in January, February time. So we had to wait till the end of the season. And my agent at the time says, right, I've got an idea. Because you're not going to be able to move even in the summer, they're going to have to pay a fee. So we looked at other things, other options, and that's when the Scottish Premiership came up. And there's a team called Partick Thistle, and my agent says if we can get you over there overseas, the club can't say anything. They have no hold over you. You don't have to pay. No club will have to pay a fee for you. So I was like, okay, cool. So I had a little look in the leagues in Celtic. I don't think Rangers were in the league at that time. I think there was in the Champ, Hearts, Aberdeen, Dundee. I was looking at the crowds that were getting, and there's a lot of attention, especially on the Scottish leagues, the High League, the Premier League, because it was so small. So you looked at as cult heroes if you're playing for one of the top clubs like Celtic, or Rangers or something like that. So I just thought, you know what, yeah, why not? It's a great opportunity. If I can get something in the Scottish Premier League, amazing. Then I can probably potentially move back to England when I establish myself over there and get a move to Portsmouth or get a move to another club like that. So that was the plan. So in the summer, I moved over there. I went over there for a little trial. They wanted to have a look at me before they signed me. So I had a 2-week period where I'd done well in training. I weren't sure if it was enough to get something, but I think the manager saw the potential in me, looked at my age, looked at my height, left-footed centre-half, so gold dust at any level. So I think he just took a chance on me. So he signed me for a season. After the 2 weeks was over, I spoke to my agent. He said, yeah, they want to sign you. They're going to put you on this money. but they want to loan you out immediately. So I was like, okay, cool. That doesn't make sense. He doesn't even want to give me a chance to try and push my way into the first team. So he immediately loaned me out to Airdrie, which were up in Ayrshire in Scotland. And I played about 18 games there. They was in League One at the time, in the Scottish leagues. And I did okay. It was my first, like I said, I'd only played for Tamworth before going to Scotland, so I didn't have much experience behind me. So that was the first taste I had of Scottish football. And then went back to Partick Thistle, and I played about 3 or 4 games then for the first team at Partick in the Scottish Prem, which was great. I think I made my debut against Motherwell. And that was a great experience. Played Motherwell away. Obviously, they're based in Glasgow. Partick Thistle based in Glasgow, so it was a big game. Then I was involved against Celtic at Parkhead. And that game in particular is something that I won't forget, because Virgil van Dijk was played for them.
Wow.
So, and I came on as well, albeit for the last few minutes. I was marking Van Dijk, so it was like, he was the epitome of what I wanted to be in terms of how he played. And obviously there was a lot flying around him at the time, before he got his move to the Premier League. I think it was Southampton that signed him first. Yeah. So before he got that move to Southampton, I seen it firsthand what he was doing in the Scottish Premier, and there was talk about, oh, can he do it in the Premier League? And I was thinking, you don't have a clue how good this guy is, do you? Like, I'd watched him play live, and he was unbelievable. Like, he was like a midfielder playing at the back, and it's almost like the game was too easy for him. So what you're seeing now is how he was in the Scottish Prem, but times 10. And yeah, I was marking him, and it was just crazy that his projection and where he is now is just, he's classed as one of the best centre-halves ever, some people will say, especially this generation. I mean, I would say Rio Ferdinand, John Terry's, Vidic come before him, in my opinion. There's an argument for company, but I think a lot of people this generation will say Van Dijk's probably the best centre-half to grace the Prem.
Yeah,
I'd probably say
I'd say so, yeah.
100%. You've probably not seen too much of Ferdinand.
No.
He was a Rolls Royce at the back and would start attacks off. He had everything. He's quick, strong, good in the air, scores goals.
I think Ferdinand come a bit before his time. I think if Ferdinand played now, I think he'd be a lot higher rated than he is. On the ball and that.
Yeah,
I think he'd fit a lot more in this generation than he did back then.
Yeah, definitely. Because he's an athlete, and I think that's something that you need to be playing at this generation anyway. You need to be a good athlete.
And with Van Dijk, were you expecting him to get a bigger move than Southampton, or did you think that it was good for him to get that Premier League experience before going to Liverpool?
I think he's spot on. I think him getting that experience and showing how good he is, there was not as much pressure on him. I know he was playing in the Premier League, but he was playing for a massive Celtic, or a massive club, by the way. And I don't think people realise how big they are. And he was taking the mick. Like, it was way too easy for him. So I think that move to Southampton was actually brilliant for him, because I think if he'd have gone to like Liverpool or Man United or City straight away, the pressure could have maybe gotten to him a little bit. Like, it would have been a bit too much, because the pressure from Celtic to then go into the Premier League at a top club in the Premier League is probably a little bit tougher. So I think, that was a great move for him, going to Southampton and then proving his worth, then getting a move to a bigger club.
Yeah, and you said that obviously Celtic's a massive club.
Yeah.
I've seen online, obviously, Scottish fans, just unbelievable support. What are they like? What were they like for you and your experience with Scottish fans?
Great. I don't want to miss my time at Dunfermline, because that's where I won my first trophy. But great, yeah. Like I said, Partick didn't see too much of me. I was a young kid learning my trade. Like I said, I think I only had 4 appearances for them. And one game that I only played 90 minutes, which was against Motherwell. So, that can't really class that as an experience of the fans as such, because I didn't really see it. But when I moved to Dunfermline, obviously, me and my agent spoke again once my year contract at Partick Thistle was up. And Dunfermline came to watch me at that Motherwell game. which actually did well. I held my own. I think I played left of back three. And, you know, that's an unusual position for him. I'm used to playing in a 4. So, you know, it took a bit to get used to playing that position. But, you know, once I got to grips with it, I did okay. Didn't know Dunfermline were there, and I didn't know too much about Dunfermline at the time. So obviously, as I started to research them, realised they're a massive club. 35 minutes away from Edinburgh, which is a beautiful city. And yeah, massive fan base, average 5,000 fans at a game. Small town, but very passionate supporters. So I made the decision to sign there. They was in League One at the time, which some people say is not the best league. It's almost like a part-time league. It's still classed as professional football. Some teams, I think we were one of 2 teams that were full-time. I think Greenlock Morton were there in that. I think they could have been full-time. Not too sure. But yeah, we absolutely stormed that league. One of my closest friends to this day, Faisal El Baktoui, he's French-Moroccan, and he was unbelievable that season. Scored 32 goals or something like that. Scoring bicycle kicks from outside the box. He was scoring screamers left, right and centre. He ended up getting a great move to Dundee in the Scottish Prem. Got put on a good contract there and did well for himself. He's now playing in Italy. But yeah, I had a great time at Dunfermline. Absolutely amazing. That first season we won the league. I was a cult hero, absolute hero there. And the fans, like I said, so passionate. You know, that was my first title that I'd ever won in football. And yeah, I was really proud of that. Went obviously into the Championship, so you're playing against a lot better opposition now. Playing against Dundee United. Rangers had just got promoted out of that league, unfortunately, so we didn't play against those. I'm trying to think. Hibernian, I think I said that right. Hibs. Yeah. So Hibs were in the league at the time, massive club, 18 to 20,000 fans. So yeah, the level just went up. It's almost like English football now. So it's like going from, I don't want to say National League, because the National League's almost like a mini League 2 now, because the clubs in there, they're massive. I'd probably say from the level we're at now, in terms of step 3 to National League, like everything is good. Stadium wise, you're playing against proper like loads of fans. Feels more like a proper game. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I love my time at Dunfermline. Really, really, really loved it. And then unfortunately, that's the second season when we moved up. I played the first 15 games or something like that, and then struggled with a knee injury. That's when it started to go a bit bad for me. I've never experienced anything like that, a long-term injury. But yeah, that put me out for the rest of the season. 5 months I was on the sidelines, so that took me to the end of the season. And then they didn't renew my contract, which I was gutted about, but at the same time I feel like it was the best for both parties, because I can now, I'm 24, I can move on and hopefully try and pursue a career back in England, which is what I did. Yeah,
and you said about your first bit of silverware. How did that feel for you? It's got to be a really good achievement.
Yeah, amazing. I think it was with a perfect club as well, because like I said, I think when we lifted the trophy, we had just under 10,000 in the stadium.
Wow.
I think it was around that. It could have been 8 or 9, but it was amazing. Yeah, just to see how much it meant to the fans. They'd been stuck in that league for a while, so we were heroes. Like I said, to this day, like I get messages from Dunfermline fans saying, "Come back to us, please. Like, we love you. We need a centre half." And I think Neil Lennon's the manager now.
Yeah,
and he's very well known in Scottish football. I think he was a Celtic manager at one point. So just shows you the stature of the club and how big it is. The fact that someone like Neil Lennon's managing them. But yeah, amazing feeling. I was my mum at the time. She was in tears, and she just knew how hard I'd worked to get to that position. So to kind of be reaping the rewards, and being with her meant everything. So yeah, it was a time that I'll never forget.
Have you had the chance to go back there since, or?
I haven't. No.
Maybe that's one for now.
Yeah, like I'd love to go to a game, to be honest. I think that's something I want to tick off now. I've walked away. I mean, I say I walked away. Who knows what's going to happen in the summer? I don't know. I'm currently in the gym every day trying to get my knee to a state where I think I'll be okay to at least run and it not swell up.
Yeah.
But at the minute, I think it was the best decision. But I think now I'd like to go to the teams that, you know, I think that I've done well at, and go and just watch some of their games and just, you know, just be more of a fan rather than a player. I think that's something that that I want to do. Like I came to the Gloucester game, obviously when the news came out, but I'll be at more games for sure. You know, especially when we're hopefully getting promoted. And yeah, who knows, maybe go to a Dunfermline game and go and check them out and say hello to a few people.
Yeah. And then after that, you get the move to Accrington, where you had some great success. How did that move come about? And you know, when Accrington came calling, was it were you really excited just to get down there?
Yeah. So funnily enough, Accrington and Carlisle were interested, and after everything that happened at Carlisle, I mean, I skipped a little bit of what happened, but I did suffer some racism in Carlisle at the time. There was a bit, at the time, I don't want to sound rude, but there was a bit backwards in the sense of like, there weren't many black people that lived there.
Mm.
So, you know, I'd walk around in the town centre in my tracksuit and you get monkey chants and stuff like that. So It was quite bad back then. And we're talking, God, what are we talking now? 13, 14 years ago, probably, if not more, sorry. Yeah, about 15 years. I don't know. My maths is shit. But yeah, obviously it's changed a lot now, and yeah, it's not like that now. But back then it wasn't great. So that was one of the reasons why I stepped away from my contract there. But yeah, the move came about to Accrington, obviously because I didn't get a deal at Dunfermline, that is why I said it probably worked out best for both parties. Obviously, I didn't play much football that season, and I wanted something new, a new challenge, something fresh. And I thought, I'm 24 now, if I don't move back to England and pursue a career there in football, then when am I going to do it? I don't want to be 27, 28 doing it. So I just thought, let's do it now. Spoke to my agent at the time, and I just said, listen, can we make something happen? And he says, leave it with me. He came back to me in a couple of weeks. He says, I've spoke to many, many clubs, spoke to League One clubs, a few Championship clubs, lower end Championship. Most of them have said no because of your inactivity of last season. But two of them have came back from League Two that are really interested. That was Accrington and Carlisle. So I was like, I ain't go back to Carlisle, I'll go Accrington. So I just decided to go and trial at Accrington. It was supposed to be a 2-week trial. So the first day went in running, second day running, third day running, fourth day running. I was like, I picked the phone to my agent. I said, what's going on? I said, I'm on trial, and 4 of the days I've been in, we've just ran. We ain't even got the balls out yet. And like at the time, John Coleman was the manager, and his assistant was Jimmy Bell. They got us going to Southport on the 5th day. Like, bear in mind, my body was messed up. I don't want to swear. My body was messed up. Like, my legs. I don't know if you've had DOMs in your legs before, but wow. Like, from 4 days of running straight, the 5th day, he wants to take us to Southport to run up these sand hills.
Oh, my God.
It was like near the sea. Oh, it was mental. And then I've never ran like that in my life. The 5th day we was running. I think on a Saturday we had a game. So I was like, we've not touched the ball for 5 days. Now you want to throw us into a game where my legs have... Anyway, got through it. And believe it or not, I actually did well. And at the time, it was me and Caden Jackson that was on trial. And there's a few other trialists, but the standouts were like me and Caden. And at this point, like, I was living in the house with the lads in Kirby, which was in Liverpool at the time, which isn't a great area, to be honest. But we had a house there. It was like a dig's house, you can say. But all the lads loved us. By this point, it was a weekend. It was like, oh yeah, you're definitely gonna get a contract and this and that. And I still speak to a lot of them to this day, and they've gone on to have amazing careers in the Championship, Premier League, and stuff like that. So, so I think it was the second week we had another game. I got onto my agent. I says, right, does he want to sign me or not? Because, you know, we're 2 weeks into pre-season now. I don't want to leave it much longer. And then it got to 3 weeks. And then I think on the 4th week we played Huddersfield. And I picked up the phoned to my agent. I said, listen, this is the last week I'm staying. Like, I've put all my eggs in one basket here. If I don't get a contract here, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm gonna end up going back non-league and playing. You know, I don't know where I'm gonna end up, but I'm not gonna be in the football league at this rate. So Huddersfield was the last game, and the manager had said to my agent before, I think I want to sign him. I just need to see him in one more game. And I asked Caden the same. I said, has he said the same to you? He said, yeah, well, he wants to see me one game. I said, we've absolutely smashed it on trial. Like, we've been unbelievable. Like, what more does he want to see? So anyway, we played this game. 60 minutes in, he took us off. Both of us actually at the same time. I played amazing again. I was like, he's surely got to offer me a contract. And I spoke to him at the end of the game, and he says, I like you a lot. He says, you've got everything. He says, you're physical. He says, I was a bit worried you weren't going to be physical enough. But he says, you're dominant, like you win headers, you know, you're good on the ball, like you're athletic. And he said, I'll speak to your agent. He says, but I like what I see. And then the next day he signed both of us, me and Caden. We went on to win the league that season. So yeah, it was massive, absolutely massive. Like, won my first trophy in England, and nobody expected us to. And funnily enough, the first day of pre-season, when I was on trial, John Coleman stood in the middle, and obviously the group were in a circle. And obviously he's a Scouser, very passionate when he speaks. He's like, we're going to win the league this season. And he says, he looked around and looked at everybody in the eye. He says, if you don't believe we're going to win the league, he says, get the fuck out now. And he says, you ain't a part of this journey with me. And I even looked around, and I didn't show any expression on my face. I'm on trial. I'm thinking, mate, you got Luton in the league. You've got Coventry City.
Yeah.
You got Wickham. You got, like,
wow.
That's just to name a few. Like, there was some big clubs, Notts County. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and the budget we had at the time was terrible, like, compared to some of the teams. But anyway, I was just like, okay, he's got to say that. He's the gaffer, do you know what I mean? You got to believe it. If not, why the hell are you there? So yeah, so when he said that, I was like, no way. Like, and then I ended up signing, and obviously it's a massive thing. Like, first football league club. You know, I was buzzing to be there. Yeah, and then we ended up winning the league. It's crazy. I think the turning point was, obviously we had Caden was unbelievable that season. We had Sean McConville on the left. We had Billy Key that scored 30 goals. You know, we had Mark Hughes at the back. He's you know, played a great level of football. Jano Danasian that went on to move that season. Jordan Clark. Unbelievable players. Unbelievable. I can never say his name. Seamus Keneally, in the midfield. And then we had, who else we had next to him? Scott Brown. Our team was unbelievable. Wow. And I was playing with these boys week in, week out in training, and I could see firsthand how good they were. But we had a great change room, and that's two things that I can pick out with when I've won a league with a team, it's because we had a great change room and good characters, good people. And that's one of the things I said to Daff when I met him in the summer. He said, what's the standout thing for you to win a trophy? You know, and I mentioned that straight away, having good characters, good people, good change room, no bad eggs, nobody thinking they're better than anyone else. And we just didn't have that. Everyone worked hard for each other, and everyone bought into what the gaffer wanted. And funnily enough, him standing there saying that drilled it into everybody from day one. And if you weren't on board, you were gone. So, you know, that's one thing that I have taken away, and that has stayed with me throughout my whole career. So yeah.
Yeah, and then you moved to Bradford City after some time at Accrington. We're just gonna pause it here, and we're gonna do our first segment, which is gonna be a five-a-side team of players you've played with. Obviously, you mentioned you played with a lot of players.
You put me on a spot now. Yeah.
A lot of players that have gone on to be in Championship, Prem, or just players that you think would be good at five-a-side. You got to just choose 5 players that you've played with, and why you've decided to put them in your team.
Oh God.
You can put yourself in as well if you want.
Okay. 5 players. Right. We need a goalie, don't we? So probably a good place to start. Goalkeeper that I've played with.
Got to have the distribution in 5-side, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Jared.
Really?
I'm gonna go with Jared. 5-a-side. He's like an extra player. He's that good on the ball. He's the best, hands down. He's the best player that I've played with on the ball.
Wow.
Hands down.
Best goalkeeper or best player? Best.
I've played with some good goalkeepers, like in terms of coming out for crosses,
Yeah.
shot stopping. Chappie's good though as well. Chappie was good that season. So I played with Aaron Chapman as well. Got Golden Glove the season we got promoted with Accrington, and he kept a ridiculous amount of clean sheets. But that's because he had me in front of him. No, it's a tough one. Honestly, Jared's really good. He doesn't get the flowers he deserves on the ball. He's good, very good.
I don't think you can play for the clubs that he's played for if you're not good on the ball. I don't think you play for Chelsea, Brentford.
But am I judging it on how good you are on the ball if it's a 5-a-side, or how good you are at shot stopping? Not to say he's not good at shot stopping, because he's brilliant.
Bit of both.
But
It's your team.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, your team.
How do you want to
play? You know what? I would say, just because he's a beast, he's bigger than me, 6'6". He could lie down and that's it. The whole goal's covered. I'll go Aaron Chapman.
All right. And then defender, or it depends what formation you want to play.
Defender. Yeah, what formation do I want to play? I'm gonna have to go. There's gonna have to be 2 at the back, 1 in midfield,
And 1 up front.
1 up front.
2 defenders then.
What do you think about that? You can't have 1 defender, can you?
Nah.
If you just stick
But
yourself there, you'll be
But
fine.
defenders, you got.
The thing is, you could have
sometimes you can have a midfielder in defence, like a right back.
yeah, that's good at carrying the ball. You could have like a good solid defender, and then even like a fullback that's brilliant at getting forward. Okay, cool. I'll go Janoy Danasian as a centre back.
Okay.
Even though I know he's a fullback, but he can play centre back. He's played centre back. I've seen him play centre back. He's quick. He's quick, very quick, strong. He's one of the best 1v1 defenders I've ever seen. Like, being brutally honest. So I have to pick Janoy. He got bought that season by Ipswich for I think 900k, as well as Caden went for 1.6 mil.
Wow.
To Ipswich, straight into the champ. That's how good he is. Can't get past him. So I'm gonna have to go Janoy, and I will go next to him.
Go on, have yourself. Go
Nah.
on. You're not gonna put yourself in. You can go
Too
up
big
top.
too big and clumsy. The 5-a-side. There's better players, better fit there. I'm gonna go. Who am I gonna go?
Come back to it if you want, and go to.
Yeah, let me come back there.
Go into midfield.
So midfield, how many I got there? 2.
No, 1 and then 1 up front.
Oh God. Jesus.
'Cause you've got a keeper.
I've killed myself here.
You have. Or you can change it. Go just Janoy at the back.
Yeah, let me go Jano at the back, just on his own.
2 midfield.
Let me go Jano at the back, because he's that quick. He could just go. Yeah, Jano at the back, and I got to pick Pinchy.
Wow.
I have to pick him.
Sort of.
Yeah, he's
that good. I have to pick him.
I could see him being good at 5-a-side. 100%.
He's ridiculous. I do like Ellis though in a 5-a-side. Ellis is good in a 5-a-side. This is what I'm saying. Like Ellis and Pinchy are cheat codes. They're so good. Like honestly, the ability that these boys have. Like I said, I played League One, and there's players that ain't as good as them.
Wow.
100%. 100%. They're that good. Diggers will tell you that. He was Newport's captain last year. He he loves them. He says they're unbelievable. Shouldn't be nowhere near this level. But anyway, I'm picking Pinchy.
So
Pinchy's my midfielder.
Yeah.
Next to. You see, I'm just thinking of Gloucester right now. I need to think. I'm gonna pick Caden up front. Caden Jackson.
Okay.
Just because he's like lightning.
Great player.
He's at Bradford now. Just signed for Bradford, but he's spent most of his career now in Championship. I was gonna pick Billy Kay, but you can't move. I think you need to be able to move in 5-side. He'll make good runs, Caden, and just slot it in. Like, yeah, I'll have Caden up top. And one more midfielder. This is tough.
You're not having Dorse in there? Bit of leadership.
You're right.
Having Dorse.
100%.
What was
and he gets
like?
about as well.
Mm.
He rats.
Mm. He's covering that whole pit, that whole 5-a-side pitch. He's covering it.
Yeah. Doors. We'll stick Doors in there.
What was he like to work under?
Oh, I love Doors. Loved him. Really did. Like I feel like at times this season we've missed somebody like that, which he can't do anything about. He's moved on to other things, and good luck to him. And I dropped him a little text, and we speak now and again over WhatsApp, and yeah, I got nothing but good things to say about him. Just a great person, old school, tell you how it is. If you're having a bad game, oi, you need someone like that in your team. Not only that, just a great leader. Worthy of being captain at any team. Like he's brilliant. He's like gold dust. You can't replace him.
So that's the 5-a-side team complete. After Accrington, you moved to Bradford City. Obviously, a massive club, massive stadium.
Yeah.
Was that a great move for you in your career?
Yeah, at the time, yeah, it was brilliant. The manager that signed me at the time was Gary Bowyer. I actually changed agents at this point. So I left when I left Accrington. I signed with another agent. Obviously, I'd been with my agent at the time. At that period for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and I just thought that I needed to freshen things up, and sometimes agents can pull off worldy moves, and I wasn't desperate. I was just at the age now, 25, 20. I think I was 26 when I moved to Bradford. So I just thought that summer in particular, I says I want to change my agent just to see if somebody else can get me a better move. And obviously when I left Accrington, I was in League One as well. So I was saying, right, do I try and jump to the champ, or do I try and get a well-established League One club now? And my agent at the time just wasn't really putting clubs my way that I thought I was worthy of, and that's why I changed. But yeah, changed agents. Straight away, he got in contact with Bradford, massive club. Obviously League One, got relegated that season into League Two, so it's their first season in League Two. Spoke to the manager. Manager had a great 2-year plan. He signed a 2-year deal there, so it was new for him. He thought it was important for me to meet him at the stadium and just go through a few things, make sure we see eye to eye, and we've got the same ambitions. He basically said to me, I want to get Bradford into the Championship in 2 years. And that was his plan. And straight away speaking to him, I was like, that's exactly where I want to be. I want to be in the Championship. And try and push to get into the Premier League. You never know. So yeah, our plans definitely aligned. And I ended up signing a 2-year deal there. The one thing he asked me, he says, what you like playing in front of a big fan base? Because Bradford, as you probably know, the minimum fans are going to get is 16,000 a week at home.
Wow.
I think they're averaging now, like they're in League One, they're getting like full stadium, like 24,000, something like that. So yeah, it was something that I was like, yeah, I'm going to embrace that, like 100%. That's why we all play football. We want to play in front of big crowds. We want to play in front of sold out stadiums. That's the whole point of being a footballer, and that's something that I'll embrace. So yeah, I ended up signing there for 2 years. Started off great, unbelievably. Manager was under a bit of pressure straight from the start. Fans were not taking to him the way he played football, although he played football the right way. What I believe, like, he plays very similar to Daft, likes to play out from the back, and build attacks that way. Just, I don't know. We hit a few draws. I think we drew 2 games in a row, and the fans were just calling for him. I think he got sacked when we were 7th.
Wow.
Which we were in a playoff position, which was just a crazy decision in my eyes. And then from there, the manager that came in just wanted to just punt it long. Players weren't playing well. I weren't the only one. My performances dropped. And I believe I was a scapegoat because of that, because I performed so well at the start. Then my performance dipped, as did the team's. Maybe an error for a few of the goals. And then, it just kind of went a bit pear-shaped, to be honest, which was unfortunate because, it's a great club. I enjoyed playing for them. It just got a bit sour towards the end, so I thought it was just best that I moved on. The second season, I think it was midway through the season I left, and it was either go to Port Vale on loan till the end of the season, or it was go to Barnet, which were bottom of the National League. But Barnet were offering me that security of a 2.5-year deal on good money, and I was just having my firstborn at the time, so I decided to go with the security. So I dropped out of the Football League, signed a 2.5-year deal there in the National League with Barnet.
Yeah, so Bradford City, obviously a massive club, but things don't work out. What's it like mid-season when a manager gets sacked? Obviously, you said it went a bit pear-shaped. What can that do to like a fan base, and not just a fan base, but also the players in that dressing room as well?
It was awful. I really liked him. I thought his man management skills were the best I'd had. He'd bring you in after a game. The time he brought me in as well, I was flying. I was doing really well. And he was congratulating me on my performances and scoring my first goal for Bradford. He just wanted my opinion on how I thought things were going, which I thought was really good for a manager to do that. It felt personal, as opposed to speaking to a group. Bringing you in and talking to you on a one-to-one level is a lot more personal, which I thought was great. I've never had that experience before, so I thought that was great. Show me areas where I could improve on. He had a big TV in his room, and he'd actually gone through clips and edited them himself to show me what I need to do better or what I do great. So that aspect of things was brilliant because I could go away and improve my own game and help the team, in that way as well. So I did really appreciate that. But yeah, as you said, I've never experienced being in a team that the manager got the sack. I'd come back off. I'm on the back end of winning a trophy with Accrington. So, and then going to League One, playing the first 15 games at left back for Aki. So it was like, I was on a high, so I'd never experienced a manager getting sacked because in 3 seasons, I've won 2 trophies in essence. So it's like, I want to win more. So when he got sacked, I was shocked. I was gutted for him as well because he'd brought me to the club. So yeah, it definitely impacted me. Performances will tell you that. And it affected the team. I think it always does. He brought a lot of the players into the team at that point. James Vaughan, you probably know from Everton, but the youngest player to ever score in the Prem, I think, still holds that title. We had Owen Doyle up front as well. He's had a great career. Hope Akpan in midfield. Just to name a few. We had some good players. Clayton Donaldson. So yeah, it was a shock to everyone, but we were big boys, we could take it, and the new manager that came in just played a complete different way to the way that we wanted to play, so it just didn't work. Happens.
How big was that cult shock? You're going from playing, in Scotland into Accrington, and then a massive club like Bradford with, that fan base. When they're piling on, for the manager to get sacked, how much are you feeling that pressure as well as the manager is? Because, you've gone, as you said, from that level to that many fans, and even though they're calling for the managers there, it's almost as if they're calling for the whole team as well. Yeah,
it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, like you said then, although it was a step down from Accrington because Accrington are League One, I walked away from it. They offered me another deal to play as a left back in League One, and I was like, I'm not left back, so I'm not signing that. So I saw Bradford as a 2-year plan, as going back-to-back promotion, which is what the gaffer said to me originally. So even though it was a step down in level, it felt like a step up in club.
Yeah.
Because the club's just so big. Like, it's such a big, well-supported club. Like I said, getting 18 to 20,000 fans week in, week out. So you hear a lot of things, you see a lot of things that you can't not see. It's all over social media. So, and it's good to see when you're doing well, but when things ain't going well, it's also, you're going to see that too. So yeah, it is massive impact. 100% massive impact when the manager left. And, the fans unfortunately do have a big say on that. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. I do look at that period of my career and I just think, what if he stayed? Like, I could have probably fulfilled my dream and played a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is what it is.
And then you make a few moves around non-league, Barnet, Yeovil, Scunthorpe, and then you end up at Gloucester City for the first time. We'll get on to Gloucester City now because I think we're running out of time a little bit. Gloucester City obviously signed you from Scunthorpe. How did that move come about? And obviously the first time around you left a little bit before you expected to. How did it go at Gloucester then?
Yeah, things got a little bit, again, toxic at Yeovil towards the end. We've seen a couple managers got sacked again. I think the two clubs that ended a little bit sour was Bradford and Yeovil. Apart from that, every other club, I really enjoyed my time there, like throughout my whole contract. But yeah, I decided to speak to the manager, Mark Cooper, at the time at Yeovil, and I just said, listen, I need a change. It's not working here. And he didn't want me to leave. To be fair, we were quite short on players at the time, so he just said to me, I'll put you on a circular. And then that day, Scunthorpe came in. They were at the bottom of the league, but massive club again, massive fan base, passionate fans. Had a great time there, even though it was a short period. Went to Scunthorpe, scored on my debut against Dagenham, and the fans just took to me straight away, which was great because I was really struggling at Yeovil. I was struggling with my knee as well, which I've not spoke about yet today, but my decision for walking away from football was from Yeovil. So this has been ongoing for 3.5 years. But yeah, left, obviously, not to go on too much, left Yeovil, went Scunthorpe, did well, fans liked me. I loved the club, great club. And the manager at the time said to me, we want to offer you a contract whether we stay up or go down for the next season. I was like, oh, brilliant, superb, love the club, like I'd love to stay. Unfortunately, broke his promise. And I needed to get my knee sorted out, so contacted the PFA, got an operation sorted on my knee through the PFA, which they were brilliant with me. So yeah, got that sorted, and I didn't have nowhere to go. Literally had no clubs, like, which is just shows you how football can change overnight. Obviously Tim Flowers got the job at Gloucester. Reached out to me, just said to me, listen Ben, if you want to come in, sign non-contract basis, find your feet again, get match fitness. I don't mind if you play 10 games for us and then the club from National League or League 2 or higher or whatever come in and take you back. And I was just like, okay, cool, like that sounds good. I'd heard about Gloucester before anyway because you had Ben Nugent here, and Nuge is a character.
Yeah.
I was with him at Barnet, and obviously when he left Barnet, he came to Gloucester, so that's how I know. I think he was in the north then, and I think you were full time back then. I know a few people that were here, JJ Hooper, few others as well. Topi as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously I'd heard about Gloucester, and he said come in. I came in. I was 6 weeks post-op, like on the surgery table, and I just said, listen, like I might need a few weeks before you throw me in. He was like, you'll be able to play with your eyes closed.
No.
Don't worry. Like he's quite old school, Tim.
Yeah.
Like I get on with him well. He signed me at 3 different clubs. So I was just like, okay, cool. Like whatever. See how it goes. Started. I think I came to training on the Thursday, played on the Saturday. I felt horrendous. Like there was no way I should have been playing. But that's kind of how it started, and I kind of had to find my fitness throughout playing games, which is why I felt like I didn't start too well at Gloucester. It took a while to get going, but yeah, as soon as I got going, felt great. I loved my time here. Like what a club!
And then after that season, obviously the club were relegated to the Southern League, in which we're in now. You take a move to Bromsgrove, and then you come back under Mike Kirk.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll touch on last season now. It's a great season, apart from the ending where obviously we missed out on the playoffs.
Yeah.
What was last season like for you, and how gutted were you, as we all were, to not get that job done on the final day?
That's exactly it. It was we had ups and downs. Listen, don't get me wrong. It wasn't all smooth sailing, but we got to the stage where we put ourselves in the final. We beat Walton and then played Tottenham in the final, and it's fine margins, weren't it? In the end, they scored a goal, I think, out of nowhere, really. And I think if either side won, there would be no complaints. It was that kind of game. There was not many chances that I can remember anyway, from either team, apart from obviously the one they scored, which got them promoted. But no, it was a good season. Like I said, we had a great change room. We had good characters. We had Borley in there. It was great. Grubby, Kev. These are big characters that sometimes when things aren't going well for you on the pitch, that's what drives you. That's why we got to the final. Let's be honest. Like we weren't always getting the best results, but we went for a period as well where we didn't have Kev or Pinchy, if you remember rightly.
Yeah.
And we won a lot of the games without them. So it was like, wow, we can actually win games without them. That's incredible. So yeah, it was a good season, apart from the obvious, not getting promoted. Which takes me on to this season. I think we if we are a bit short some weeks, it's character that will drive us, and we've got good characters in the change room this season as well. So
yeah, did you want to ask a question? No. We get on to obviously this season, change of management from Mike Cook to Daff Williams.
Yeah.
You said you spoke to Daff in the summer. Was it always going to be Gloucester that you'd want to stay at the club?
Yeah, 100%. I think it was going around in the group chat that everyone was getting a call off Daff. So it was like, oh, who's next? Like, I think a couple of lads were called to say that that they weren't going to be offered anything. So that kind of got around, and then I think my time come where I got a call, and I was just like, oh god, this could go either way. It's a new manager coming in. You don't know if you're going to be his cup of tea. So I didn't know what to expect at first. I thought I had a decent season, to be fair, that warranted maybe even getting another year. But you just never know. Like, managers could have other plans, other players they want to bring in. But yeah, the conversation went really well. He stressed the importance of wanting to meet me in person, which I think was needed. So we met up in person, we had a great conversation, and yeah, I just took to him straight away, like in terms of what he wanted. Young, hungry, first proper job in being a manager, should I say. Obviously we all know he was at Newport, but yeah, as a manager, it's his first proper job. So I just thought, yeah, like, I'm on board here. And everything we were saying to each other, we were both agreeing. And, he explained what he wanted out of me and how he plays and his system and, his demands as what he wants from his team. So, yeah, like, it went really well. And testament to him. He's done brilliant this far. So hopefully, long may that continue.
So I think that's one of the big things we've had speaking to people on here. Everyone sort of said, like, when he come in, it was just instant.
Yeah.
You knew this was the right guy for the job. And it seems like you definitely felt that with the conversations you had with him.
Yeah, like, it's not just the conversations. It's like you said, the first day of training, he's kind of setting his stall, and his what am I trying to say? The demands were high.
Yeah.
From day one, and I think, like, I bring myself back to when I was at Accrington, the manager setting the demands on the players from day one, and that installs something in the players where it's like, okay, cool, I can't not turn up to training.
Yeah.
I can't not put 100% into training, especially on match day. If I do, I'm not going to play. So it's like he's setting that impression from day one, and listen, it's not like I didn't feel like that anyway. Oh, that's the gaffer, I can't speak to him. Like, you can actually speak to him as well. He's a really nice guy. So I think that's important as well. Like, a lot of times that I've played for clubs, it's like you try and avoid the gaffer because it's like that. Oh, like, that's my boss. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but with him, it's fine. You can have a conversation. You can crack a joke with him. But when it's ready to get serious, it's ready to get serious. So that's the kind of respect that the players have for Daf.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned last season there was ups and downs, and there's been that this season. Maybe there's been games where results haven't gone our way for whatever reason. Yeah, we've obviously got a long way to go in this season. Would you just give a little message to obviously everyone following the club of, just to stick with them, stick with the club and stick with the players and everything, going right to the end of the season?
Yeah, it's so difficult because nobody can foresee what was going to happen. Like, Walton have gone on an unbelievable run. Like, I think they've even won better than Merthyr. Like, up until now, obviously they've had a bit of a sticky patch. But yeah, like, I feel like there's a little bit of us that that are disappointed with some of the results that we've had. We could have won games where we've drew, especially some of the losses. We look at the goals that we conceded that are avoidable, which is sickening, really. But at the same time, we're still in a brilliant position. We're second in the league. So much to play for yet as well. Another big game Saturday against Poole. So it's like, just get behind the lads and really give them that extra push and help they need to get over the line, because I think it could be a special season. I really do. If we don't win the league, which I still think there's a massive chance we can, we'll win the playoffs, 100%. I'm that confident. There's a great group of lads there, irregardless of what's gone on behind the scenes. Like I said, I've been in the change room. You've got a great manager, good fan base, good club. It deserves to be promoted now. I think it's Gloucester's time. So yeah, I really do just think, just keep doing what the fans do each week. Just get behind the lads. Home and away, the support's tremendous. Like I say, I've been at a lot of clubs and they're well supported, and I think we average 1,100 fans at home. That's the average. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's 15, 16. You're getting more than Forest Green. Do you know what I mean? Not to say, I'm not trying to make like a war between you. No. You do know what I mean? Like, you're getting good, it's unbelievable support. And they're in the National League. Like, you're getting National League numbers turning up to the game week in, week out. So that just shows you how much of a big club that Gloucester is, and it's it feels like more than just a fan base, in the sense of it's like a community. I know it's a city, but it feels like a community, and they're good people as well. I've spoke to them. I've gone upstairs after games, and I don't really drink, but I've stood with them whilst they're having their drink, and back end of a win, we've won a game, and everyone's happy and buzzing. It's just such a good club and a good fan base, and you don't always get that at every other club. So I feel like we just stick together and keep going how we're going. The success will come.
Yeah, and obviously we get on to now when you've made that tough decision to step away from football temporarily, or for however long you want to, due to your knee injury. obviously it's a tough decision to make, and it probably still feels quite raw for you having to make that decision. Talk us through, you said it's been going on for quite a long time. Talk us through, the way it's come through to now and your decision to step away at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier that it's been an ongoing issue now. I mean, I first had a knee injury when I was in Scotland. As I said, that drove me away from Scotland. I do believe everything happens for a reason, and that did happen for a reason, because it got me my opportunity to come back to England. So that was my first time on the sidelines. I was out for 5 months after that operation. But then the second time I had an operation was my time after Yeovil, which I thought I was going to Scunthorpe after, which never happened. But obviously being rushed into playing again when Tim took over, I don't think helped the cause of my knee. Just put more pressure on it because it weren't ready, and I couldn't rehab it properly. So I was kind of playing catch up from then. And listen, I think last season I had a lot of luck was on my side, because I think I played every game bar one, but I wasn't training as much. Like Cookie would sometimes come in and say, "Oh, how's the knee?" And I was like, it's not great. Like I could do with just resting, and this would be like a Tuesday, so I'd go and do some rehab on it and stuff like that. But I think Daft's been brilliant with me. Like Daft understands the situation with my knee as well. But I just feel like everything's just gone up a level with Daft coming in, just because that's his standards. So training's gone up, so it's more intense. Passing drills intense, everything's intense, which is brilliant, because that's what you want, especially as a young footballer. But for someone like myself, obviously I'm 34 and I struggle with my knee, I think that's just probably caught up on me. So yeah, that's obviously led to my decision as well. Like I said, those games, I'd finish my games, and this is things that fans don't see or anybody outside of the football club see. I can't go to the park with my kids because my knee's like a balloon, or I can't walk the dog. My missus is heavily pregnant. I can't help her around the house because I'm on the compression boots, or I'm icing my knee, and I'm taking 60 ibuprofen a day to try and get my it's slightly exaggerating, but yeah, you know what I mean. I'm taking a lot of tablets to try and get the swelling down, so I'm fit for training on Tuesday or even a game. Sometimes we play Saturday, Monday. I just can't literally get my knee down. But apart from that, I physically feel great. Like my mind's telling me I could run around all day, and I can, but my knee's telling me something different. So at some point I had to, have a word with myself, had to talk to my missus and say, like, I think enough's enough. I got to put my health first at this stage. Yeah,
and since you've left, obviously, you've been trying to keep yourself busy. What sort of things have you been up to since stepping away from football? And, has it been a little bit weird not, training Tuesday, Thursday, game Saturday and stuff like that?
Yeah, it is. Like, listen, there's no other industry like football, especially when you're talking about banter and just being around the lads. Just like I said, we've got a great change room, so a lot of those lads I respect highly, and some of them are my good friends. Pinchy being one, obviously I know he's just left. There's so many in that change room that I get on with, and that's disappointing, and that's something that I do miss. You do miss elements, but it's just like it's a weight off my shoulders, in the sense of I know that I don't have to go through the rigmarole of trying to get my knee okay for the Tuesday game or training, and I don't have to check in with a physio to tell the manager that I might not be available for this game. Like, that was frustrating for me, because I'm not a selfish player. Like, I would run for a brick wall for most of my managers that I played for, including Daft. So it's like, if I always keep breaking down, he's gonna think, oh, this guy's soft. But it's not that. It's and I felt like I was letting him down. There was elements of me that was like, oh, I'm letting everyone down. Like, I'm available for Saturday, but I can't play Tuesday. And he's gonna have to change his shape, or he's gonna have to change the team constantly. So that was playing on my mind for a lot of the time, and that was one of the decisions as well. So, but listen, it's been great. I've been able to spend a lot more time with my family, take the kids out, walk the dog, help my missus out. I've been able to spend time on things that I'm doing outside of football, as well, which has been great and been needed, to be honest. Because if it wasn't this year, it'd be next year. If it wasn't next year, it'd be the year after. So these are things that you have to think about, because I'm getting older now, so I need to put things in place for my future, my kids, and everything else. So yeah, it has been good, but it's I still do miss football, of course.
Do you think it hurts that a little bit more that it was sort of decided for you in a sense? Whereas you're saying you've got the mentality, you still feel like you can do this, but as you say, your knees telling you you've got to pack this in. Surely that hurts a lot more than a player who might have just thought, like, I've played all these games. Like, it's sort of your story at the minute. It hasn't really got like a natural end. It's sort of just like been cut through, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think there was a good week or two where I could just cry. Literally, I don't ever cry, and I was so emotional. Like, my mum would call me and she'd start talking. I'd just start crying. Mum just, like, if I start crying, my mum starts crying, and everyone starts fucking crying. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm an emotional person, but like, I feel like the older I'm getting now, I'm a little bit more emotional, but in the sense of when it comes to my career as well, like, I just think of my earlier days, and then it's almost like a little film that goes through your head and it brings you to now, and it's like, God, like, and then you could just start crying at any moment, like. So, like, yeah, that was a bit upsetting, but I think I've got over that now, because it's all I've known for 20 years, football. So stepping away from it was, tough decision. Not one that I took lightly as well. But sometimes, like I keep saying, some things are bigger than football, and when it comes to your health and kids, nothing's bigger than that.
You said there, obviously, it's like, a film in your head. I think that's the most unique thing about football. A lot of people who might have done a job they've enjoyed, you can't really look back at it, whereas you can go and search Ben Richards-Everton highlights on YouTube. You can still relive that, and as you said, you're still getting fans that message you, from your old clubs. It is nice that you can still look at all those good times in football, and it's right there for you to see.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. And I'm grateful for that as well. We live in a generation where everything's recorded and filmed, so I'm very lucky for that. And I'm expecting my first daughter. I've got 2 young boys already, but that's I'm a bit annoyed I didn't hang around long enough to for my daughter to see me play, at least carry her onto the pitch. This is why I never say never, because it might come to the summer and I'm feeling like I've got a new leash of life. My knee's in a better place, and I might just do a short-term deal somewhere, whether it be Gloucester, I don't know, whether it'll be somewhere else, who knows. Might not be this level, might be lower, might be higher, who knows. Like, nobody knows what the future holds. So that would be lovely. I'd love to do that, but at the same time, if my body's not allowing me to, you have to walk away. So that's a decision that I'll have to make in the summer, whether it's a permanent decision to walk away from the game or whether it's just for now. But yeah, it is literally like a film. It's crazy. It's almost like I've died, and like I can just see my whole life, but now I've got a new chapter.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to be honest. But football will always be in there. Like, I have the aggression and like the passion to still play, like you said. But is it for the best? I don't know. Like, I could still play now, but I have to suffer if I play. So yeah, it's frustrating.
One of them ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 100% always welcome back at Gloucester City. As Daft said, don't become a stranger, and you said we'll see you back at the KMM this season, supporting the lads, and whether it be come the summer you re-sign for us or someone else, or later along the line you play for Gloucester City Legends or someone like that.
Who knows? They've got a walking team, have they?
No, just sometimes they'll have a Legends game. Like last year, they played Man United Legends at Gloucester City. So
get me on the walking team.
We'll see. But well, I think we've got to the end there. I think at the end of every episode, we ask the guests one other person from the club who they'd like to see on the podcast. And Got anyone in mind?
Oh, good question. Who would I like to see on the pod?
It can be player, staff. It can be chairman, secretary, anyone really.
Ledsy.
Get Dan Ledbetter on.
Dan Ledbetter.
Yeah.
And if he says no, which I think he might, then Diggers. Yeah.
Okay.
Like to just get an older head, someone experienced that's got some stories to tell. Yeah, one of them two. Be great.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. I hope you've enjoyed it.
100%, yeah. 100% enjoyed it. It's funny because I don't really open up to anyone about anything, so it's felt like a counselling session as well. So it felt great, yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you for coming on. Yeah, that's the end of the episode. I've been Noah Woodland, joined by Morgan. Thanks for coming on, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.
Thank you guys.